locked in with the Bunny Ears gang, man. Here we go. A lot of y'all probably ain't heard of this gang. You don't know this gang unless you've been in Baltimore City, you from Baltimore City, or you know somebody from Baltimore City. That's what we on. Bunny Ears gang. Don't laugh at it, because these people could be at your door in a matter of hours.
East Baltimore is the origin of a crew known colloquially as Bunny Ears, a young, ruthless street crew operating in the underbelly of the city. They emerged from tight-knit pockets around Brems Lane and Minnesota Avenue, areas long afflicted by systemic poverty.
I ain't gonna lie, I ain't been over the East. I ain't been over the East unless it was for some work, unless it was for a drive-through to get somewhere else on the highway. I ain't been over the East like that. So these avenues, these... like, I don't know where they from. Like, I don't know. It's like a third world country to me.
And turf violence.
But this speaks to a larger issue that young people would, number one, have ease of access to these firearms and would use them indiscriminately, shooting people within 50 feet of 20.
What Unc say? Get 100 Glocks and rain down on all your ops.
5 to 30 police officers who are in the block. Either they don't care about consequences or don't believe the consequences, and they have no respect for human life or the sanctity of life or authority to pull off that brazen, cowardly act right there in the presence of police officers.
I said it before. I said it before. I run, I mess with the movement. I mess with the movement.
North South, niggas. All the way down to the
man. Green Tank, Bunny Ears, free the gang.
I ain't gonna show you that. With me, you heard? For real.
With me, you heard? I ain't gotta show you, but it's with me, you heard?
Like that, man.
I don't gotta show that
shit here. See, Ron got out the person in the back.
That's how we do. We make fads. Like, when you start hearing motherfucker, your homeboys calling you dummy, like for real, that's my dummy. Dummy. Make sure you shout out top trend report. We ain't reacting.
Mossy Gang. Online videos titled Mossy Gang X Bunny Ears vlog show masked young men flashing a distinctive hand gesture, 2 fingers resembling bunny ears, signaling their affiliation. Social media clips, including TikTok interviews, feature them chanting Mossy Gang Bunny Ears and making direct territorial claims. These are not casual posts, but online assertions of power and identity within their neighborhood. Members are shockingly young, often in their teens, with several implicated in shootings and homicides. Prosecutors allege their involvement in multiple East Baltimore murders and shooting incidents, including fatal teen-on-teen violence and carjackings, traced back to this crew. Affectionately ruthless, they operate under brutal internal codes familiar to Baltimore's gang landscape. They are entrenched in a political struggle over street corners and drug markets, competing with rival sets for dominance and retribution. This crew represents a new wave in Baltimore's gang politics, a hyper-local, youthful crew, self-branded online, and quick to resort to violence to enforce territorial control. Their actions reflect a growing trend among East Baltimore street gangs. Small, insular, yet capable of extreme violence.
Everywhere you go at is broke ass niggas, and it's niggas that get money though. But I feel like certain niggas over East change that stereotype. You feel me? I ain't no hating ass nigga for real. So you got niggas like Bunny Ears niggas, they look good, they be cutting, feel me? From over East. You get what I'm saying?
They cut, they come in trend for real.
Money Jake is a Baltimore rapper known for flaunting wealth, heavy chains, and a lavish lifestyle in his music and social media posts. Born and raised in West Baltimore, he's become a viral figure in the city's underground hip-hop scene. He frequently appears in music videos such as Industry Ready, 1500 Facts, and My Only Response, showcasing expensive jewelry, luxury cars, and entourages, symbols of success and street credibility. Money Jake often brags in videos about his income and lavish lifestyle. In interviews and freestyles, he emphasizes having all the money and adds credibility by displaying chains, money stacks, and designer clothes. Claims have circulated that he was robbed of a valuable chain in a confrontation tied to a rival gang known as the Bunnies or Bunny Ears, stirring buzz online and sparking speculation about gang affiliations or conflicts. While Money Jake hasn't publicly confirmed formal gang membership, his connections and conflicts suggest he moves within within Baltimore street and gang-influenced circles.
Listen, it don't matter if you're moving through, used to be here, used to stay over here, used to be out here. You're going to be moving through gang territory no matter where you at. So you better learn the politics. Better learn them.
Videos hint at ties to broader regional groups or disputes, but nothing labels him as a core gang member. Musically, he's collaborated with local and regional artists like ESTG and BC Tay, reflecting his growing influence in Baltimore's rap community.
Got that rolling.
Overall, Money Jake blends bold self-promotion with street narratives, a rapper whose flair for wealth signaling is infused with the tension of Baltimore's gangling drama. About 5 months ago, Money Jake was at a Baltimore recording studio when he was violently robbed. Members of the Bunny Ears crew allegedly rushed in, seized his jewelry, including a heavy chain he'd been flaunting, along with cash, weed, and other valuables. Eyewitness footage and viral clips quickly emerged online. One YouTube short was titled "Baltimore rapper Money Jake Get His Chain Snatched by Bunny Ears," while social platforms buzzed about Money Jake chain took by bunnies, and Money Jake still hasn't spoken out about Bunny Ears taking his chain.
Now listen. If you ever, I don't know why you would, because there ain't shit down here, ain't shit out here for nobody that wants to come. So you're not going to come here for no vacation. Because the shit down there look like everybody done vacated anyway. It looked like a whole city homeless. That's what it looked like anyway. But I love it. Ain't nobody but it's fucking, they ain't homeless. They seem better way. Like, you see that block party was just out there? Shit, why would you go home? Huh? Come on, bro. Why would you go home? You get anything out there. But what I was saying, though, don't come over here thinking, when somebody say, oh, there go the bunnies, don't think if they talking about no snow bunnies, no girl bunnies, no none of that. If they say there go the bunnies, you better tuck your chain. You better run, skedaddle up out of there. I'm gone. See you tomorrow. Not coming back tonight.
Everything. I'm off everything. You heard
on that fire. Fire.
On Reddit's r/BodyMore410, users discussed the incident. One commenter wrote, "Them dumb. Why do niggas instantly post putting insurance on themselves?" Others speculated on gang politics behind it.
He walked away from it, if you know what I mean.
Baltimore rappers can't play both sides and expect no kickback. These online discussions frame the event not just as a robbery but as an intergang statement. Bunny Ears sending a message and Money Jake's public profile making him a target. While Money Jake has not released a formal statement about the incident, he responded indirectly in music. In a track released soon after, he dropped a diss song claiming ownership of significant street credibility and addressing the chain theft, clearly influenced by the incident. To date, there's no public record of the stolen items being recovered or arrests made. The robbery remains one of several flashpoints highlighting the volatile relationship between Baltimore's rising local rappers and crews like Bunny Ears.
We gotta do better for these kids,
through the 25th, 2024, 3 Baltimore men, Jerome Waters, 23, Calvin Israel, 23, and William Barnett, 27, all connected to the Bunny Ears gang, traveled from Maryland to Queens, New York. The trio posed as marijuana buyers at a stash house in Bayside to rob their dealers at gunpoint and kidnap them. Also, William Barnett is a known Baltimore rapper known as Zone 18 Will. Once inside, Waters and Barnett brandished firearms, forced the dealers into zip ties, and brought in 2 accomplices. The group herded their captives into a Jeep and a U-Haul van, stealing approximately 30 pounds of marijuana during the operation. Within the confines of the U-Haul, Julian Mejias, a 23-year-old dealer, was shot multiple times in the head by Marcus Pittman, Nacho, or Cheese. First responders found Mejias' lifeless body on 208th Street near 32nd Drive in Bayside, still bound by zip ties and surrounded by bags of weed. The robbery and kidnapping scheme concluded with the suspects fleeing back to Baltimore. In a surveillance video dated July 24, the defendants were seen at a New York gas station en route to the stash house. On October 24, 2024, Waters and Israel were arrested in Baltimore and indicted in Brooklyn's Eastern District. Barnett remains at large. A second super...
Listen, man, listen. Now, this goes back to being young, dumb, and not having the OGs to set them straight. Listen, man, if you ever go to do a big R or a hit, anything, you about to go do some moves. You got it, especially if you going out of town to do it. Like, that's the best thing, go out of town. But there's a couple things you got to understand, man. Leave your phone in the city. Always had a burner. When you go up there, once you get in 15 miles vicinity, square vicinity, round, whatever you want to do, call it. You can't be in those stores. You can't go into the store and get, the car's got to be full off of the gas. You can't be hungry. You can't got to pee. You can't get thirsty, none of that. We can't be stopping at no stores. We doing it, and we getting the shit up out of here, back going down the street. Get back down the bottom where we could break this stuff up. Look like to me it was all just plants. So, well, you can't go off the pictures. But anyway, if it's all plants, they better know how to grow. Hang, dry, and cure the weed, or they're going to lose it all.
Preceding indictment until May 20, 2025.
Because you could take some good-ass bud and make it some cat pee just by not knowing how to do
Lenny
it.
Garrett, 20, Marcus Pittman, 30, and Delonta Pittman, 31 to the charges. The 6-count indictment accuses the crew of conspiracy to commit armed robbery, kidnapping, interstate drug trafficking, and the murder of Mahiz.
And the big
Federal prosecutors say Garrett held a second deal at gunpoint while Marcus Pittman executed Mahiz in the back of the U-Haul. Israel is accused of renting the van used in the operation. If convicted, Garrett held a second deal at gunpoint while Marcus Pittman executed Mahiz in the back of the U-Haul. Israel is accused of renting the van used in the operation. If convicted, Waters, the Pittmans, and Israel each face life imprisonment, while Garrett faces 10 years to life. This brutal interstate crime reflects a disturbing evolution among Baltimore-based robbery crews, moving beyond localized turf violence and leveraging brutal cross-state operations. It underscores how
there could be some lucrative hits in the city, outside of the city, whatever, but you got to know what to hit, when to hit, and like I said, there's rules
groups
to it.
once
You gotta
limited to street-level territory disputes.
You can't get lazy not one time, because that first time you get lazy, the feds are going to be up on you.
Are becoming increasingly mobile and dangerous. 2 young men were shot and killed on the night of June 26, 2022 in a triple shooting outside the Parkside Shopping Center in Northeast Baltimore. The victims were Devontae Lamont Powell, age 21, and Demetrius Savante Johnson, age 26. Powell was pronounced dead at the scene, while Johnson succumbed to his injuries later at the hospital. The incident unfolded just after 8 p.m. in the 5300 block of Frankfort Avenue near Sinclair Lane. Witnesses reported hearing multiple gunshots, and a third victim, a 28-year-old woman, suffered non-fatal injuries and was taken to the hospital in stable condition. The Baltimore Police Department released surveillance footage showing 4 masked gunmen exiting a Honda and opening fire on the group. A second burst of shots rang out inside a convenience store, extending the violence beyond the parking lot. Authorities have since offered an $8,000 0-cents reward for information identifying the suspects. No arrests have been made, and police have cited no confirmed connections to the Bunny Ears crew. However, the shooting occurred in the same general area where Bunny Ears-linked activity has been observed, hinting at potential overlap or territorial conflict. This tragic incident reinforces a troubling pattern of gang and street violence in Baltimore. In 2021 alone, Baltimore reported over 300 homicides, one of the highest rates per capita in the U.S., many tied to highly localized crews fighting for control of southern and eastern neighborhoods. Baltimore's gang landscape is fractured. Small, insular juvenile crews like Bunny Ears, long-standing prison-affiliated groups such as the Bloods, Crips, Black Guerrilla Family, and neighborhood-based factions all engage in turf wars over drug corridors and street corners. Informal alliances shift frequently, and violence often flares over perceived slights or retaliatory killings. The Northeast shooting adds to the urgency facing Baltimore's leaders as they pursue a multi-pronged strategy involving law enforcement crackdowns, community-based interventions, and youth outreach to stem the cycles of vengeance and robbery that fuel street-level homicide. Until the suspects are brought to justice, the families of Powell and Johnson remain in limbo, waiting for closure, while the community grapples with growing fear and frustration that even a routine evening at a local shopping center can explode into deadly violence. On April 16, 2023, 31-year-old Dontre Mitchell was shot and killed on the 2900 block of Chesley Avenue in Northeast Baltimore. Baltimore police say he was ambushed around 8:30 a.m. A masked gunman jumped from a red vehicle and opened fire with what appeared to be a rifle. Mitchell was taken to Johns Hopkins Bayview, but succumbed to his wounds shortly after arrival. Police released surveillance footage showing the shooter fleeing and fast-tracked an $8,000 0-cent reward for tips leading to an arrest. While no formal links to the Bunny Ears crew have been publicly confirmed, the murder occurred in a corridor adjacent to territories where Bunny Ears activity has been reported. Given the proximity and timing, law enforcement and community groups are considering potential gang motives. This killing is part of a larger context. Baltimore's homicide rate, though on a downward trajectory, remains historically high. In 2024, the city recorded 201 homicides, its lowest total since 2011, and a sharp drop from 333 in 2022 and 261 in 2023. As of early June 2025, Baltimore has already seen 59 homicides, underscoring the persistent challenge of street violence even amid declining overall trends. During April 2025 alone, there were only 5 murders, marking the lowest monthly count ever recorded, down from 13 in April 2024, a 61.5% drop year over year. Still, each incident carries weight far beyond statistics. To combat violence, Baltimore's group violence reduction strategy, bolstered by expanded homicide clearance rates, which rose from 42% in 2020 to 68% in 2024, is credited with revealing real progress. Yet, arrests for murder remain steady, typically around 100 and 130 annually, suggesting systemic strains even as homicides drop. Gang politics in Baltimore remain complex. The landscape features a fragmented mix of small, youth-led crews like Bunny Ears, alongside entrenched prison-affiliated groups, Bloods, Crips, Black Guerrilla Family, and neighborhood-based factions. These groups frequently clashed over drug turf and perceived slights, often erupting in lethal retaliation. The murder of Dontre Mitchell and earlier incidents involving Bunny Ears reflect ongoing tensions between localized crews asserting control over East and Northeast Baltimore.